frustrating.
It all started 6 days earlier, deep in the Sawtooth Mountains of Idaho. We kicked things off by setting up camp and preparing popcorn for the bear baits.
With the motorcycle, do you know what I mean? Take one bag of popcorn and the blind and a chair.
Since we got a late start that first day, the plan was simple. Refresh the baits, check the cameras, and then sit the blinds that evening. With 3 tags and 4 bait sites, we'd be splitting up each night, rotating spots to see where the bears were moving. After dropping Robert and Blake off and almost backing Brian off of a cliff,
Come on.
me and Brian headed to our bait site.
Yes, it's about a 30 to 40 minute hike up to Creek Bait. Once we get to the top, or once we get close, I'll let you know, and we'll go real slow the last couple hundred yards or so, just in case there's a bear waiting at the bait for us. Michael walked up to this bait and there was a bear at the barrel. That was 2021, 4 years ago, but it's gonna steadily get a little steeper as we climb. I can see the barrel right through those trees. All right, we're good.
As we approached the barrel, it was clear it had been hit, but the game camera was nowhere to be seen. Luckily, after a brief search,
Yeah, this is it. Check this out. Totally smashed. This thing got hammered. I don't even know if... Okay.
the camera was still functioning, but unfortunately the SD card was completely blank, so we had no idea what had come through. But with the size and amount of bear dumps, we were hopeful it was something big.
It smells like black licorice. I don't know, based on the moisture content, it's probably been a couple days. It's not super fresh, like I don't think that was dropped today, but like these bears hammered this place and just cleaned it out. And they've probably come back a few times since, so let's hope they get the message.
With the bait set and the blind in place, all that remained was to sit and wait.
I'll be able to tell, fairly soon, as long as I get a decent view of them, whether or not it would be a shootable bear. Like if it's size-wise, because we're not that far away. Then we just need to wait for him to get into position where I can take a shot. But they say when you're hunting for a bear, you aim for the middle of the middle. So like right in the middle of their body, top to bottom and left to right. Their vitals are a little bit back compared to like a deer or an elk.
The first night brought nothing, but with the bears already hitting the baits and 5 days still ahead, we were optimistic for what was to come. Day 2 started by rechecking game cameras and restocking the baits that needed it. Since we hadn't checked it out yet, river bait was number 1 on the list. The hole in the bait barrel is where the bears dig out the popcorn and other goodies inside. We wedge a log in the barrel to slow down smaller bears and to make it obvious when a bait's been hit. River bait had been hit. And this time, the cameras actually caught something. A heavy, round-bellied boar that quickly earned the name Potbelly. Luckily this time around, the water levels were pretty mild, although crossing was still much more difficult than it looked. Next up, we slid down into crotch bait, and it was rank with signs and smells of a bear that had eaten too much popcorn. After checking out the game camera, it was clear this bear was also shootable boar, but not quite the size of Potbelly. Logging road bait was a bit harder to get to, so we just scoped it out to see if it had gotten hit. So, with all 4 of the baits checked, we decided to sit the most promising. Me and Robert were assigned to river bait.
All day long, I crash it right there. How sweet. Okay. So I can just sit here like this, hoping to see a huge bear come in. We have one on camera. It's come in here a few nights, and he's really big, but he hasn't come in during shooting light, so hopefully the new bait we put in, the bait will make him hungry, and he'll come in before dark. Just can hope. That's all we can do.
We sat in the blind with little commotion until a soft rustle behind us piqued my interest.
He's right behind us. He just ran off a bear. You saw it? Yeah, he was right here. You saw the bear?
There had been a bear 10 feet behind us. The moment I cracked the rear window to check the rustling, he bolted into the trees. We waited, hoping he'd return, but he never did.
Bear was right there. It was coming. And I was peeking out of that corner of the blind. And it was just right in here somewhere.
That evening ended without a shot, but that first bear encounter left us with our hearts racing, wanting more.
Today is day 3, heading up to Creek Bait to restock it. We didn't have anyone sit it last night because we had bears coming in another bait, so it wasn't hit. So I'm gonna check this camera to make sure that it's still working. Let's add a little oil and sugar, and then we'll go to river bait.
After checking river bait and regrouping, we decided to start the blind sit earlier than usual that day because of the nice weather.
We decided to sit crotch bait tonight because both creek and river bait didn't get hit last night.
What was the name of the bait again?
Crotch bait. Blake came up with that one. It's kind of the confluence of 3 different canyons or draws, and so in Blake's mind that's crotch. But it's a good spot. We've had 3 different bears come hit this bait in the last 5 days.
Despite crotchbait being our most consistent bait site, the evening passed with no activity besides a couple squirrels. Day 4 followed the same rhythm as before. Hike out to the baits, check the game cameras, restock the bait sites, and then regroup to decide which blinds to sit in that evening. The cameras surprised us with 2 new visitors. At Creek, the biggest bear we'd seen yet finally showed himself. Likely the same brute that had wrecked the camera. Thanks to a bunch of popcorn stuck to his backside, he earned the nickname Popcorn Butt. Meanwhile, at Riverbait, a beautiful blonde-colored bear appeared on the footage. Though smaller in size, its striking coat set it apart from the others we'd seen so far. After a quick rinse-off in the freezing river, me and Brian headed up to Creek Bait in hopes of getting a shot at Popcorn Butt. We sat for 4 hours with nothing. Around 8 to 8:30, a pair of fawns to the side of us kept us distracted. Brian stood to stretch his legs. Then, there was some more noise, and we assumed it was the fawns again. But when we looked up, there he was. Popcorn Butt in the flesh. Brian had to quickly sit down and prep for the shot. It all came down to this moment.
daylight if we have to track him. I want to be able to get a blood trail. I'll lead the way in case I need to put another bullet in it. I gotta zoom my scope out. Something. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so much work to get him out of there. At about 8:30, I stood up because I was just stretching my legs, and I heard a large branch snap, and I thought, wait, where did that come from? Like, did you hear that? So I tapped Joey, like, hey, did you hear that? He's like, no. So then we wait a little bit longer. Then we hear another little snap. He's like, I think that was in front of us, and we look, and Popcorn Butt is right there at the bait. And, it didn't take him very long. Within 30 seconds, he was broadside right at the barrel. I already got my gun set up. I just told Joey, I gotta take the shot I'm gonna shoot. One shot, it looks like he got hit well. And, he crashed off to the right. But then I didn't hear much more after that, so hopefully he's down. Oh, I was shaking. My adrenaline was going crazy. I mean, I'm just pumped. He is a nice bear. He's a huge bear. I have no idea how we're gonna get him out of here, just the two of us, but like, this is a big bear. Whew, pumped. I hope I got him good. I don't see any blood. Dude, I'm worried that I don't know that I hit him well or I even missed him.
After searching the side of the mountain for a good 30 to 40 minutes, things were looking pretty bleak. Since it was getting dark, we decided the best option was to head back, review the footage on a laptop screen, and go from there.
Gosh, if I hit him well, he wouldn't have gone this far. So I either hit him poorly or I missed him. And both of those scenarios just suck. The fact that I can't even see any blood at all at the barrel makes me think like I just totally missed him. Dang it, dude. Oh, that's so frustrating. Yeah, let's just hike down while we have light. It's such a steep angle that he's sitting on that I should have aimed a little lower than I was, I think. And I think I'm aiming a little too high. So, I don't know, like, I hit him. Yeah, we're gonna go look for him in the morning.
We started searching at first light. We started out hopeful, but hope faded fast. And in the end, we had to face it. Popcorn Butt was gone. Our hearts were heavy from the loss, and our legs were even heavier from the search. So we spent the rest of the day at camp, and then headed out to the blinds. Me and Brian sat river bait that night.
You know, you never hope to just, injure a bear or miss, but, that's hunting, that's life. Sometimes you miss those opportunities, but doesn't mean it's going to be the last one, so you just got to move on. So we freshen up the bait, and we'll see what comes in. All right, so today's day 6. Today's our last full day that we have out here. We're packing up and leaving tomorrow. So on our last day, we'll come to our bait sites, empty our barrels, take our barrels out, and then we'll pack up our cameras and everything. If we do end up coming back to sit this bait tonight, there's already some bait left over, but eventually the bears will get it. So we'll finish looking at all the other cameras and figure out where we're gonna sit tonight.
With the blinds, baits, and cameras packed up, there was nothing left to do but rest until evening. Our plan was decided: crotch bait, logging road, and river bait. Riverbait held our best odds. Blondie was back and Potbelly had reappeared too. This was our last chance. The water was high, the crossing was dangerous, but it was now or never.
There's a little more flow there today. It's been warm, so more snow melting up high. Makes it just a little more sketchy coming across the river, but we do it anyway. So it's kind of swirly. That's not good. He's gonna come from over there, or he's gonna come from there. He's gonna come down. So we gotta be out of the wind. So we're just gonna have to wait down lower. The wind is gonna kill us. Ah, shoot. It's going that way.
With no blind to block the wind, we waited down by the river until the thermals shifted and the cold air began drifting down the mountain. After a couple of hours, the wind finally turned. It was time to sit. Several hours later, Blondie appeared. He crossed above the bait, then slipped back into the trees before Robert could get a shot. He didn't seem spooked, so we waited, confident he'd return. Moments later, deer filtered in. They passed within 10 feet, unaware of us, until suddenly, they snorted and bolted. Had they winded the bear? Robert got out of his chair and shifted left, anticipating the bear might circle behind us like it had days earlier. Minutes dragged on. 10 minutes passed. Then 15. Hope began to fade. Then, he was back. Blondie stepped out near the bait. Robert couldn't risk moving back to the chair and sticks, so he slid forward, settling his rifle on a fallen log. He took aim.
Sow.
Oh no.
Got no cubs. Blonde. A blonde bear.
Yeah. Oh man. What a beautiful blonde bear.
Beautiful blonde bear. It's a blonde bear. Good, and it's unfortunate it's a sow, but it doesn't have cubs, so no shame. First bear to succumb to the 28 Nosler caliber, so it obviously did its job. And there we go, dead bear. Okay, my life is now suddenly way better. Yeah, we
misspelled.
Okay. You can edit the last part, right? Yeah. So I say, well, we get up there and it's in the dark and we're not looking at it, and I didn't realize this bear has testicles. This bear is a boar. I shot a boar. I didn't shoot a sow. I shot a boar. So I'm dramatically happier now. It's not a juvenile boar. It's probably a 3 or 4 year old boar. Pretty blonde bear. Not a huge bear, but pretty blonde boar. Yes. Yes. Dang. Awesome. All right.
I went and grabbed Brian and Blake while Robert skinned and quartered the bear. Then we loaded up and started hauling him across the river. By now, it was 1 in the morning, and the water was high and pushing hard. I was exhausted, but halfway across, it hit me. A fat grin spread across my face. I was literally carrying a bear on my back through a raging river in the Sawtooth Mountains in the middle of the night. The adrenaline, the grind, the story, it all came together in that moment. For every disappointment, every uneventful night, every mile of hauling bait up the mountain and searching for the other bear we had endured. And we ended with a bear in our packs and a story worth telling.